All right, Servant Season 3 has begun for us. We're about a week late to the party and about 2 years late to the show. Although I did watch the show when it originally aired. So it's not late to the party, but we're collectively late to the party.
But we're here now.
Yeah. So we have watched 2 seasons and 1 extra episode of Servant in the last couple days now. So we're very servant experts.
Servant experts.
Yeah.
Servant on the brain.
That's right. All right. So episode 1, we have the family 3 months later, and things seem to be going pretty well. They seem to be a good.
Except Leanne.
Leanne, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd said in previous, discussions that, especially the last one, I feel horrible for Leanne.
Yeah.
And even more so here in this episode, it's really like she's the only unhappy person at the moment. Although I guess you could say Julian, I don't know, we'll get into the Julian and Leanne thing, but I don't know still what to make of that all.
Yeah, it's awkward.
But
to say the least.
Yeah. So I guess we can just talk about that. But so 3 months later, Julian is now, out of rehab. He is currently seeing some girl who he met. I don't know if he met her in rehab because I feel like, didn't they say somebody took him back 2 different times? Is that not this same girl, or is that was
it was just
Natalie
that
or somebody
Natalie
else?
was with him for the first 2 times he was in rehab, and she left him this 3rd time while he was in rehab.
Okay,
That's
so
what
this
said.
girl is new from
Yes.
rehab.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So we met this girl in rehab, and Leanne wants them to continue to be intimate. At least I would assume she wants a relationship, but she definitely wants sex. She's very specific about that. She's like, I like our sex. I like how it makes me feel. So, which, yeah, I get it.
Sure.
But I don't know. I don't know what to make of him with her. He's like, he tries to slough it off onto oh, you should be dating someone your age, someone with abs, someone with a good hairline, whatever.
Yeah.
And it's like, maybe she does say well, your dad dates younger women, and he's like, my point exactly. It's almost like he doesn't want to become his father.
Sure. Yeah.
Right?
I think he feels that he's not good enough for her. I definitely think that that's part of it, and obviously he was with her, at least the first time when he was in a really bad place mentally. So, the whole point of going through rehab and trying to get clean is to be a better person, and I think he feels that he can't still be with her and, grow.
Yeah.
But it's weird.
Yeah, it's weird. And she she can't seem to luck out anywhere. She even in her desperation and loneliness, she calls up Toby, who's just, I don't know what this
Toby's
kid's problem is. Is he gay, or is he because he says something to her when they're on their date. She tries to kiss him, and he says something like, what does he say? He says something
it's
like,
not you.
yeah.
And then he starts to say something else, and she just kind of, she walks away from it, because that's when he's dropping her off at home.
Gay? I mean, what?
Maybe. He also, when he kidnaps her in season 2, he's like, we should go out sometime, just you and me. So it's possible that he just wants to be her friend and isn't interested in her romantically. It's also super possible that he's just inexperienced and awkward and doesn't quite know how to handle it, which is more the sense that I'm getting than that.
If a chick calls you and says, I'm waiting for you in a 2-piece bikini, you show up. You show up.
But he's
unless
also,
you're dating
he's
somebody.
driving somewhere. He's helping a friend move, so he's on the road drive.
Have fun, buddy. We'll move you later.
Move you later.
Move you later. Sorry. yeah, whatever. It doesn't matter. But yet again, I feel bad for her.
Yes.
So she's supposed to be journaling her thoughts. She is not doing this. She's just writing down the days of the week. Really, all she can think about is that somebody's after her, that they're going to steal all of her happiness away. And, you know, she's not completely void of, like, any kind of happiness in this. She seems to be genuinely happy to be there and to be in Jericho and everyone else's life. Like, when she talks to Sean, they have a really good relationship at this point. Like, everyone's good with her outside of Julian. And when Julian tells her, like, look, I don't want to do this anymore, like, that was wrong, this and that, then all of a sudden a piece of a very, you know, rich area breaks off.
Yeah.
And falls in. Like, that kind of area isn't falling apart.
No, but it's
right?
their house again. That's the thing. It's like the foundations are still crumbling. There's still something going on with the house itself.
But something in her
But yes,
is striking out against him and trying to end him.
Yeah.
She has these visions of these birds and he gets attacked by them. Like, his reluctancy to be with her is bringing out the darkness within her that I think that she, much like Dorothy, is in denial of.
I think she is in denial of it, and I do think that part of the reason why the cult has them, you know, abstain from sex and music and good food and all those things is because they're trying to sort of dampen the emotions that the members feel. Because I do think that her emotional state has an impact on what she can do.
Why is it that, like, cults are either, like, no sex or
Too
nothing
much
but?
sex, yeah.
We're all
There's
fucking
no
or no
balance.
one's fucking.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, religion's always weird about sex. It's like, it's never just like, just enjoy yourself. You know, do what you think is
enjoy
right.
yourself,
It's
yeah.
just, it's not typically part of any religious beliefs, cult or otherwise. But yeah, so she also is kind of unable to use her powers in the way that she has been able to in the past. She could bring a cricket back from the dead, a dog, whatever, baby. But she was able to bring a cricket back pretty easily. Well,
not
not
super
easily.
But it seems like, yeah, she can't do anything anymore.
If my kid died and I could bring it back by just whipping myself a couple times on the back, that's pretty fucking easy.
Sure.
But
we don't really know what she does for Jericho still, right? We know what she's done as far as like with the cricket, maybe, but we don't see how she brings the dog back, and we don't see how she brings Jericho back. But obviously, she has a moth infestation.
She kissed Julian. That brought him back. She just punched him in the chest, but
yeah, I don't know. But now she doesn't seem to be able to do those things intentionally, so she starts a little bug collection.
Yeah.
And then decides that's stupid. No one's gonna like me if I have a bunch of bugs in my cabinet. And then she throws them away.
I don't know if she gets rid of the ones in her cabinet. She starts sweeping up the ones that are on her windowsill.
No,
she gets rid of those specifically.
She throws them in the trash can in there, and then she she throws them away.
I must have missed that. It doesn't matter regardless, but we find out that the bugs are coming from the dead body that is in her little crawl space in between the walls. The look in her eyes when she sees the body is like she doesn't recognize it. You were saying you thought it was because she realizes that's where the bugs are coming from. I don't know how I feel about that when she looked at the body, which we can only assume is the body of Josephine.
Yes.
I mean, what else could it be?
Yeah, that's Josephine in there. I don't think she doesn't recognize it. I think she was scared, and that's fear that we see. And then, yes, I think that it's mostly shock that she's covered in moths. And that's where her look of, like, what the fuck is coming from.
Sure.
So, because then at the end of the episode, there's a moth on her lamp, and she's terrified.
Yeah, I mean, at the end we get a living bug, but I guess that's just a reminder that that dead body
Yes.
is in her. Not that she brought that back.
Mm-hmm.
I like I like the unity of the family at this
Mm-hmm.
point, where Dorothy is like, you know, Dorothy sees her as part of the family now, full
Mm-hmm.
on. She's like, if they want to come for you, they're going through us. They're going through me. I'm not letting anything happen to you. And, you know, when the burglar breaks in, now do I think that burglar was part of the cult?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It's like Dorothy says, it's like pattern seeking. It's like if you want to see something, you're going to find it. They assured us that that he's just some serial burglar. And yeah, he stole her knife from what we can tell. Might have been her Bible, but I would assume it's the knife.
It's, I think, the knife, yeah.
And he could have just saw that and thought it was cool and grabbed it.
Sure.
You know,
And
I mean, it's
old
for
looking,
sure.
so.
We don't know for sure, but I don't know if that'll ever be answered. It might just be piling on to her fear.
Mm-hmm.
And then, you know, there's that guy in the street who's just staring up at a house that she kind of goes and confronts. He looks like maybe he's part of like maybe he's part of the city. He's taking notes on the houses,
I think he was
or
drawing, is what I
drawing?
thought. Yeah.
I was like, is he part of like the Consensus Bureau? Like, what the hell is
Yeah.
this guy doing out here?
I don't think he had anything. I think that she's obviously very paranoid
Yeah.
of everybody. There is a woman that walks by and is looking up at the house.
Sure.
That, I mean, if anything, she looks kind of suspicious just because she's making direct eye
Or she's just
contact.
wondering why there's a girl staring at her through
But
blinds.
exactly, it
right?
could be anything. So, yeah, Leanne is very paranoid in this episode and has kind of developed like agoraphobia as well. She doesn't seem like she ever wants to leave the house and can't even really step out a few feet to go to, to take Jericho on a walk.
Yeah, she reminds me of the chick in An Invisible Man.
Yes. Yeah, she's freaked out.
Traumatized.
Very traumatized,
Yeah.
for sure. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think, I mean, obviously, the cult stuff is going to continue like we had guessed. They're going to be after her. They're going to be after the baby. And as I was saying to her, which I can only assume is accurate, if she goes, Jericho goes. So I don't think that if the cult grabbed her and took her, or grabbed her and killed her, that Jericho would remain. Like, I
Yeah.
think that she has to be A, in the vicinity, and B, of the mortal coil. She has to be alive. Like, I don't see them. So I think that the family's going to realize that fact. Maybe they already do to some degree, but their relationship with her seems genuine.
Yeah.
Like when Sean calls her and when Dorothy calls her, they're both very warm and genuine. There's no like, oh hey, how's it going? Everything okay? No. There's love there. There's affection.
Care, yeah.
So that all seems genuine. I very much prefer them being a family.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
It's nice.
Yes.
And of course, it wouldn't be a show if there wasn't drama and terrible
Yeah.
things going on. I mean, just having them be a family and be happy would not be all that interesting
Right.
for too long.
Yeah.
So it is kind of a bummer that us humans need them to have conflict for entertainment. We can't just watch. I'd always
Such a
talked
happy
about
little
like
family.
a movie. I was like, I used to talk to people about that at work, where I would say like, they would get into stuff about like, oh, why can't things just be good and this and that? And I was like, well, humans like drama and conflict. Like, that's what we eat up, and we don't get enough of it. We like go to the movies to get more of it.
Sure.
And they're like, no, this and that. And I'm like, really? Because if you went to a movie and the entire movie was just people having a good time, hanging out, and everything was going wonderful,
Yeah.
everyone would walk out of that movie
Yeah,
like
well, I mean-
30 minutes and be like, where the fuck is the conflict? Where's
Well, yeah.
the hardship? Where's
Because
the point?
even comedy has, some type of drama or conflict
course.
happening in it. It's that line between comedy and tragedy, right?
Sure.
Like there has to be something going on that people are pushing back against for there to be a story.
I mean, the only example I can really think of is like the Before trilogy with Ethan Hawke by Richard Linklater. Like that first movie is just like two people walking around having like a nice conversation and falling in love, and that's the movie. There's like no conflict of any sort. So it does exist to a degree. I remember that One Fine Day with George Clooney, and I want to say Michelle Pfeiffer. I want to say that movie was pretty drama free. It was kind of romantic, and that was that. I guess romance movies sometimes have
can
no
be.
conflict.
Yeah, but even like good romance, you know, that's the whole like
Sure.
either forbidden love
I
or
prefer
they're like
it.
fighting to be together,
Yeah.
you know, whatever. I don't know.
Anyway,
but
this is a big,
This,
detour from the point.
it was a cool first episode.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, I feel like we were right about pretty much everything to this point. I mean, it's a 30-minute episode,
Sure.
so it wasn't a lot, but we weren't like straight up wrong. The only thing that we're wrong about so far is that Julian doesn't seem to be part of the cult mentality.
No,
Where he's-
but he has made huge changes in his life as far as
True.
not drinking and doing drugs.
True,
so
which I was gonna say in the last
is
thing. I
awesome.
bet he gets rid of the substances because of it. But
Yes.
let's hope
Yeah.
just dying.
Sure. I mean,
made
that
him
should be
do
enough
that.
for you to be like, I'm not going to do that no more.
Not just the fact that you were
Yeah.
brought back from the dead by some, cult goddess, but that you actually just don't want to die.
Right.
It's a good
It's a good reason to stop doing something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
But I'm still intrigued. It's the show
Sure.
definitely still has a driving mystery to it. So
now we do have access to episode 2 currently. We didn't think we were going to get it till tomorrow, but we're going to wait. We'll watch it tomorrow. We're actually going to watch something else instead right now. But we will talk about that tomorrow. So who's current? I'm assuming you've probably watched the second episode by this point, but that's okay. We'll
Yeah.
talk about it tomorrow, and then we'll be all caught up, and we can go week to week. So, yeah, looking forward to it. And we'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye.